Hey guys, in this video we are going to take a look at how to manage external modules and libraries in Deno. Remember to subscribe to the channel and let's get started. In Node.js applications, NPM or Node Package Manager is the way we have to manage external libraries and modules. So if we take a look at this application in Node.js that is implemented with Nest, we have this package.json file that includes all the libraries and dependencies and the version of each library. And for example, when we run npm install, it's going to create this node modules folder that we can see here. And this is the place where npm is going to download all the external libraries. That's in a nutshell how npm manages external dependencies. So in Deno, the approach is quite different. So if we take a look at this project, the first difference with Node is that we don't have a Node modules folder because the dependencies are stored in a central place. So if we run Deno info, we're going to see that this directory, that is this remote modules cache, is going to include all the dependencies. So if we go to that folder, here we're going to see that we have all the dependencies here. For example, if I enter here to HTTPS, here I can find all the different locations of our dependencies. So if I enter to deno.land, here I'm going to find these metadata files. So let's take a look at one of them. And as we can see here, let me scroll down a little bit. Here, for example, we have the metadata of the DSO library. There are two files in Deno projects that are the way to import and export libraries, and those files are the deps file and the mod file. Let's take a look at some third-party modules and some standard modules. For example, here we have the Dactyl web framework, and let's take a look at the deps file of that project. So here we have all the external libraries that are being used by this framework. So if we go back and we take a look at the mod file, so this is the file that we import in our application to get access to these classes and decorators. So let's take a look at the DSO library. DSO is an ORM, and if we take a look at the deps file, here we have all the external libraries that are being used by this library. And if we go back and we take a look at the mod file, we're going to see that we have all the different classes that are shared by this library. So when we import this file, we get access to all these features. And if we take a look at the HTTP standard library, we have this mod file where we get access to all these elements. And the same for this UID library. If we go to the mod file, we can see here that we get access to the different versions of this algorithm because it is exported within this file, as we can see here. Okay, so if we take a look at our project, from this server.ts file, we are importing the application class from the Dactyl framework, and we are importing the controller decorator, the get decorator, and some others, also from the same library. So what happens if we need to change the version of the library? We have a problem here because we need to change it here and also here in the server.ts file. So that's the reason why it is recommended to use a deps file and include all the external libraries that we need to use there. So I'm going to quickly create a deps file here, deps.ts. And here what we can do is basically copy all this. We can export all these elements. I'm going to format in a way that will be easier to read. And here what we can do is we can replace this, and here we can use deps.ts. And the same with server. What we need to do is copy this and include the application class here as part of this export list. and we need to change this here, and we need to use deps.ts. So now if we need to change the version of this external library, we change it all here, and we don't have to make changes in multiple places. Now I'm going to move on and move all the rest of the external dependencies within this deps file. So here I finished the deps file, and I included all the libraries. The library to include the Dactyl web framework, the library to include the Oak middleware, and also the library for the ORM, that is the DSO library. And of course, I also had to make some changes in the rest of the code. So here I'm using this deps as part of the import sentence here, where I'm importing this application class. And the same for the controller, where I'm importing all these classes and decorators, also again from the deps.ts file. Okay, and one feature that is provided by Deno is the ability to check the integrity of the dependencies. So here we can run this command. I'm going to paste it here, where we basically can run Deno cache, and here, if we don't have this file, it's going to generate this log.json file, and we need to specify here the path to the dependencies files, to this deps.ts file. So I'm going to run this. So this is going to create this log.json file. And if we take a look at this file, we can see that it's going to include the list of external libraries and a hash associated to the content of the external library. And we can also run, let me show you here, and we can also run our application. And if we specify, this log file is going to check the integrity of the dependencies. Okay, and there is another feature that is an experimental feature actually, that is this import map JSON file, and we can specify the external libraries like this, imports, and we can associate to each of these names the URL of the libraries. So if we want to run our application using this import map, we need to change our deps file, and instead of using the URL, we need to use the prefix and /mod.ts. So this is the prefix, this is for Dactyl, this is for Oak, and this is for DSO. So here we need to use Oak, and here we need to use DSO. Okay, and if we want to run the application using this import map, we need to run this command, passing this flag here. That is import map equals, and the name of the file, that is import_map.json. And we also need to pass this unstable flag, because this feature is experimental and it is still unstable. Okay, now let's start our application with all these options: the import map with the dependencies, and the log file to validate the integrity of the external libraries. And I'm going to run this shell script. This is run.sh. And as we can see here, the application is up and running. So that's all I have for today. Thank you guys for watching, and I see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.